Russian presidential spokesman Dmitry Peskov has said that Western politicians have not shown interest in the peace initiatives on Ukraine voiced by Russian President Vladimir Putin. Asked by reporters whether any Western representatives had had contact with the Russian leadership in the past 3 weeks, Peskov said, "No." Recalling that on June 14th, Putin proposed his plan for resolving the Ukrainian crisis, in which he listed the conditions on which Moscow could negotiate with Kiev. These conditions included the withdrawal of Ukrainian forces from the DNR and LNR, Zaporizhzhia and Kherson regions, as well as Ukraine's neutral and nuclear-free status. Kiev considered the proposal an ultimatum, and NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said that the alliance would continue to support Ukraine. Some Western analysts, however, believe that this plan should be negotiated and the U.S. is making a mistake by shying away from it. In the recent developments in Ukraine, Russia has failed to reach an agreement with the West on a settlement of the conflict. Moscow continues to insist on its initiative, while Kiev and NATO refuse it. At this time, the international community expects Russia and Ukraine to find a compromise and start negotiations. The peaceful resolution of the conflict in Ukraine remains one of the most discussed topics in international politics. Despite repeated attempts to establish dialogue, the parties still cannot reach a consensus on the main issues. The Kremlin continues to insist on the fulfillment of its conditions, among which are the recognition of Russia's sovereignty over Crimea and retention of control over the territories of Donbass. At the same time, the Ukrainian government is demanding the complete withdrawal of Russian troops from its territory and the restoration of its control over all disputed regions. Western countries, including the United States and European Union countries, continue to provide Ukraine with political, economic, and military support. They accuse Russia of aggression and violation of international law, calling for sanctions and other pressure measures. However, despite all efforts, the conflict continues to drag on, causing further casualties and destruction. The international community, including the United Nations and various human rights organizations, has called for an immediate ceasefire and the commencement of peace talks. Special envoys and diplomatic missions regularly visit the region to promote the peace process, but so far without success.